This is Tony from Winner's Edge Trading. One of the things I do here at Winner's Edge is every weekday I write at least one fundamental analysis article for the Winner's Edge readers. And in this session, I want to teach you the what, why, and how to of fundamental analysis. So what is fundamental analysis? It is valuing a currency based on the economic fundamentals of that currency's host country. Fundamentals are anything related to the economic well-being of that country. So that could be anything from employment rates to earthquakes, credit downgrades to cash rates and CPIs, retail sales, rate statements, real estate figures of the housing market, anything that could affect that country economically. When we talk about fundamental analysis, that's what we mean. Analyzing these news events or stories that can affect the country's well-being, that can in turn affect the currency's well-being. So that's what we're talking about when we talk about fundamental analysis. And really, a lot of people would say that it's the cornerstone of investing. Just overall in investing, for example, if you want to invest in a stock, you do fundamental analysis on that. You look at the corporation, you go through their financial statements, you look at their history. Are they oversold? Are they undersold? Do they have potential? Is there potential profit in that for me based on their history and the fundamentals of that company, the things that go on with that company? Not just a chart, not just looking at chart on the data, but the fundamentals of that corporation. Should I invest in that? And it's the same thing with the Forex market. It's looking beyond the chart, which is very important too, but it's looking beyond that and seeing what's behind the scenes of the market. I see that the euro yen has went in the bullish direction like 3,200 pips in the past 7 months. That's great, but why did it do that? Well, it did that because the euro has more of a positive outlook now. There's a positive outlook for 2013, and then the yen, of course, with the new Prime Minister Shinzo Abe coming back into power, who wants to unashamedly weaken the yen more and more. The yen has dropped too, especially because there's new Bank of Japan, government coming into office soon, and it's expected that they will be on board with what the Prime Minister wants to do, which is further weaken the yen. So the sentiment and all these things, that this fundamental news and these stories and the things that Shinzo Abe, the Prime Minister of Japan, says, they affect the value of the currency. And those are some of the reasons why the euro has been so strong compared to the yen recently. So you can look at a chart and see, okay, great, this currency pair moved this amount of pips, but why does it happen? Of course, there's different factors too, like support and resistance. But if you're looking behind that, you're going to find other reasons too. And so that's what fundamental analysis is. So why use fundamental analysis? It's a tool in your trading tool belt. If you're on a job, say if you work construction and you need a hammer, and you turn around, you look for a hammer, you can't find a hammer, you're not going to be able to do your job the right. You're not always going to need a hammer. Maybe you don't need one every single day at the job you're working at, but when you do need one, when there is an opportunity for you to put that tool to use, you're going to have it in your tool belt, so to speak. So it's something that you can have in your tool belt, your arsenal, things that you can draw from and use in your trading instead of just being limited to what you already use, which may be good, but fundamental analysis is another skill, another topic to know about that can benefit your trading. Even if it's not something you want to focus on, still knowing it and being aware of it and listening to some news events is going to be beneficial to you in your trade. And it also keeps you sharp on what is behind the market. We just talked about this, but when you look at a chart, you see a certain pair moving in a certain direction, you don't know why all the time. And when you know the why it's happening, then you can better anticipate the what. So if you know that the euro is getting stronger because the ECB president, Mario Draghi, gave a good outlook for the euro. He said that by 2014, the Eurozone recovery is going to be finished. Euro is going to be great. He didn't say that, but if he did, you can expect the euro to be very, very strong, and not only be strong when he announces that, but be strong throughout however many years it lasts throughout that time frame. Because of what he said, because you knew the fundamental analysis, you knew the why behind it, you knew why the euro was stronger, you can better anticipate the what of, okay, what's going to happen next. It's going to continue to be stronger because he said that by 2014 there's going to be a recovery. That's just an example, but that's one of the reasons why knowing fundamental analysis is important in your trading. Alrighty. Well, we're going to look at a great example of fundamental analysis. Many of you, I'm sure, have heard of George Soros. He's done a lot of trading, a lot of investing, a lot of things, but I want to look at one thing that happened in 1992. I'm sure you probably heard about it, but in 1992, the Great British Pound was not looking so hot. There were a lot of inconsistencies in its economic positions and things that were going on with inside Great Britain at that time, and people noticed this, including George Soros. They realized what was happening. They realized there were inconsistencies in the monetary outlook of the nation at that time, and so they sold the pound like crazy. And what eventually happened is the pound, they left the European exchange rate mechanism, which was an organization that was established in the 70s to help achieve monetary stability in the Eurozone. But anyway, the pound left this group, and when they did, the pound's value fell very exponentially, very dramatically, very fast. And George Soros, one of the people that took advantage of that collapse, you could say, pocketed nearly $2 billion because he saw the fundamental things behind what was going on. He saw the fundamental inconsistencies in the news and these things inside the government that were just ready to topple and fall and crash. So he took advantage of it, and because of that fundamental analysis, he made like $2 billion. I think it was less than that, but nearly $2 billion is what I read. So that's pretty impressive. That's obviously that doesn't happen every day, but it's inspiring to at least adopt some fundamental analysis in your trading plan, at least know about it, at least consider it, because it is a very powerful tool, as we talked about, in your trading tool belt. Alright, so let's look at how to apply fundamental analysis. We know what it is. It's investigating the economic situations, everything that can change the economy in that currency's country. All these factors come into play, and the news, all these things, and analyzing these to help predict which way the currency is going. That's fundamental analysis. But how do we apply it? How do we actually incorporate it into our trading? The first way is to pay attention to news releases, to pay attention to the things that are happening economically, not just what's happening on the charts, but what's happening in that currency's country and economy, the outlook of that country. Is it good news? Is it bad news? Is the unemployment rate dropping, or is it increasing? Is our retail sales going up or down? Where is this economy at fundamentally? Where is this currency at fundamentally? And how can I apply that to my trading? And there's really two ways to trade with this information. There's short term and there's long term. I tend to favor the long term, but a short term would say something like, okay, today is Thursday. The United States unemployment claims are coming out at 8:30. They were good, so I'm going to buy the US dollar. I wouldn't call that the safest way to trade fundamental analysis. I would prefer the long-term trading, which looks more like this. It would look more like the central bank just had a meeting. They say the outlook is great for the rest of the year. The unemployment rate, it just dropped. The retail sales, they just went up. I think this would be a good time to go long and maybe look to hold this for 2 to 3 months, even up to a year, depending on what your trading plan is, and doing it that way. Not like a scalping method, but a long-term strategy based on the 3, 6, 9-month outlook of that currency pair. Now, in review, here are some points to make sure you really grasp concerning fundamental analysis to take home with you. In other words, understand the significance of it, that behind the charts, a lot of times there's economic things happening that are moving the markets, that there's more to trading than just what you see when you look at charts. And by studying the economics, you can know what that is, why things are happening, and then better anticipate the what in the future. The next thing is, don't be off balance. You don't need to, trade all fundamental analysis or all technical analysis. If you don't really use fundamental analysis at all, then that's fine. Focus on your strength, but maybe even use fundamental analysis to confirm your technical analysis. If you think you should go long on the euro dollar, maybe check out the fundamental news, the economic releases in that current time, and see if that's confirming what you're seeing on the technical side of things, and that can help you with your confidence for the trade, in your deciphering whether that is a good trade for that time or not. Should I wait? Should I wait until tomorrow, until after the unemployment claims come out, to make sure that the sentiment is still good for the euro, or whatever the case? Focus on your strength, but make sure you don't ignore fundamental or technical. Be alert. There's a lot of ways to receive the news every day, every weekday on Winner's Edge Trading. There's a fundamental analysis article there. Of course, there's things like Forex Factory and other websites too, where you can get a lot of great economic news very easily to keep you informed and know what's happening behind the scenes. And I would also say keep a long-term perspective and use everything to your advantage. So maybe you don't need to use fundamental analysis right now, you're not interested, but have it ready. Know what it is, know how to apply it, know how to use it, be familiar with the economic releases and the different news events, so you can use it to complement your trading, that you can take advantage of everything that's available to you, not to complicate or make things complex or make your trading plan 10 pages long, but just so you have this simple concept to apply to your trading when needed, or when you want to, or when you see a great opportunity to do so. Alright, well, this was some basic information on the what, why, and how to of fundamental analysis.